Welcome to the TRICAST experience. I'm Rob.
I'm Will.
And we're going to talk about excuses.
Man, there are a lot of excuses out there.
There's too many excuses.
I make excuses. I make way too many excuses.
I mean, why do we make excuses and what are we really talking about, Will? Can you give us a little bit of an establishing shot?
Absolutely. So, we're going to talk about excuses in business, excuses in entrepreneurship, and how no excuses are really acceptable, but we're going to make them anyway. So, how to overcome those excuses. And
we're going to show you how to match your executions to your ambition.
That's a good way to put it. I like that. Wow, you should have just done that whole you should have done that whole thing.
Have you seen Gary V's Trash Talk?
You sent the link to me, and I actually didn't get a chance to watch the newest one. But I watched the first 3 when they came out. And dude, like, if something's motivational, that's it. Right?
When I watched this last one, I got probably 5 to 10 minutes into it. It's like a 29-minute video or something like that. I literally turned off the video. It was a Saturday morning. Left my house and went garage sailing.
So for all of you that don't know, Gary Vee put on a show called Trash Talk, and it's a YouTube show where he basically gets up on a Saturday morning, goes to 30 garage sales, and
buys what he would see as great opportunities of buy, sell, flip, arbitrage, lists that after negotiating and buying it for the best deal he can, puts it up on eBay, right, and flips it for maximum profit, which is really, really, really interesting. And it's kind of, it comes from him, from like his childhood and like the early grind as an entrepreneur, but I love how it kind of exists as a way to escape poverty, to get into a better living situation. It's a really great solution for how are you going to spend your Saturday and Sunday afternoons.
Right?
Yeah.
And I love how his, it's so motivational. It's so inspirational to just get up and go and throw your excuses out the door.
Oh my gosh.
You're broke. You don't have enough money to buy the new camera that you want, in my case, or buy the new lighting that you want, or buy all of the camera gear that you want,
I need more money for ad spend.
Yeah, exactly, right? Especially as a young entrepreneur, this Trash Talk, like, he basically just says, throw your excuses out the window and go garage sailing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's something that you don't think of, a couple other things that I want to touch on in this video is like starting a vlog, starting a podcast, drop shipping, stuff like that. But nobody thinks about going garage sailing. Like, that's something that especially I don't think about, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit behind my computer and figure out how to make money today, instead of like, I'm going to get up and go fill my car with other people's junk that I'm going to buy out of the garage, and then go and flip it on eBay. It's just, No,
and like I'm saying, it's like, it is the solution. Like, it's really, really crazy what kind of options. I was actually raised up on going to estate sales and garage sales with my dad. So I definitely knew it was always a move, but I didn't know when it came to the eBay side of things, how active of a marketplace it was.
Absolutely. And it's hugely active, And I know you actually listed things on eBay. You went garage sailing. How many garage sales did you hit?
So I did 3, and then I said I was going to go home, and then I had someone hit me up, and I picked him up, and then we hit another 4, I think. Yeah, so I think I had 7 in one day.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I spent, I think, $120 in the ballpark. Tons of steals. We'll see. I'm in the process of listing and flipping everything. It just takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
and
for sure, it does.
Balancing other entrepreneurial ventures, you make it work. But it's definitely a process. You got to spend the only kind of barrier of entry, I think, is really understanding what great copywriting is and what flips the best and how on the eBay side of things.
It's like eBay sales, learning eBay sales.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And kind of talking about that gives us a perfect segue into this entire podcast right here of getting rid of your excuses. Like if there's no room to complain. If you want to be an entrepreneur, like there's so many options out there, and I fall into making excuses myself, of like it's not the easiest thing in the world, but getting your car on a Saturday, go to garage sales, buy people's junk, sell people's junk, boom. Like that, like there's
and
even
whether
a guy,
or not you're saving up for a jet ski or you're trying to make rent, it's a solution.
It is, and it's a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you have a day job, all week long, you're working 40 hours a week.
Yep.
Well, wake up on Saturday morning instead of going out and partying Friday night. Wake up Saturday morning and go and make money.
Yep. Spend 5 hours finding deals, and then bringing it home, cleaning it up, and listing it. Mm-hmm. Right.
There's actually, so I kind of got introduced to this through two things. One, there's a guy that comes around my subdivision and with a trailer, and he picks up people's trash, right? And so like my dad threw out a really old table saw that doesn't work. Like it was from 1980, didn't work at all. There's no way of fixing it.
You just want to get rid of it.
You just want to get rid of it. So you put that out on the curb, and he comes around before the trash truck comes around, and he picks it up. He doesn't know it doesn't work.
That reminds me of kind of an alternative strategy here is if you're really, really broke and you just need an opportunity, if you have wheels or even if you don't, Craigslist free section.
There you go.
All you have to do is pick it up. Who knows? You pick up some couch that's a little bit dirty, but you can wipe it down, and it's not the best couch in the world, but you can sell it online after you kind of do a little touch up here and there, and you sell it for $30-$40, right?
And it doesn't have to be, especially because even a whole couch, right? Even if it was a $500 couch to start with, if you're getting a couch for free,
exactly,
and it's close to you in your area, all you have to do is go and pick it up, and then you can flip it for if you flip it for $50.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And like garage selling, there is like you do need to come in with cash in order to like start the process of the flip. But if you don't even have any disposable money like that, like free section can create it.
Absolutely. And I would say another thing there is OfferUp and LetGo are two
Facebook Marketplace as well.
There you go. Local buying and selling apps, and I use OfferUp often. I wanted to go on a snowboarding trip, so I went on OfferUp and got myself some snowboards for really cheap. I got a $400 snowboard for $50.
That's crazy.
I know, right?
And I think both of those local, or all three of them, the local marketplaces make a whole lot of sense for like large bulky items that like aren't naturally conducive to putting it in a box and giving it to United States Postal Service.
Absolutely. And it's like I want to sell this piano, right? My dad has a piano that he gave to me, and I'm trying to sell it because I don't play piano.
He actually gave you the piano?
He gave it to me, yeah.
Oh my god.
So I guess now it's my piano.
Yeah, it is your piano now.
But I don't play piano. I want to sell this piano. So it's a matter of like I'm not going to go and ship this piano for 50 cents a pound or whatever, and it's so heavy. But I'm not going to go and ship this piano across the United States. It's going to have to be something local. Throw it in the back of a minivan. And
you're also listing a go-kart too.
I am, right? If any of you guys want a go-kart, it's good. Kind of the basis of OfferUp and LetGo, especially OfferUp, is you make offers, right? So it's kind of the eBay platform where you bid on it.
Okay.
But it's more of a individual basis. Like I post it for $400 and like, hey, I'll give you $300, and you either say yes or no, or you can kind of bid back and forth, and I've gotten a lot of lowball offers, which is great. A lot of people are seeing it. I have a couple hundred views on the posting.
Oh, wow.
And it's been up for a week, I think. I have a couple hundred views on it. I'm getting a lot of lowball offers, and maybe that's, telling me maybe I should lower my price a little bit. Maybe I should lower it down just a little bit. I'm at $350 right now is where
And where are most of your offers in the ballpark?
Most of my offers are around the 200 mark.
Okay.
Which is not horrible because, again, I got this go-kart for free.
Yeah.
But I truly think that it is a little bit more of an expensive piece, and it could go for more than that.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer in don't compete on price.
Mm-hmm. So I think it could go more for that, but we'll see. And that actually ties us into this one. Literally, what I have down on my paper is selling out of your house.
This is huge. This is really huge, and it's really funny because this conversation comes on the heels of the whole tidy up movement. Mm-hmm. There is that one author that she had a book, and that book became a Netflix movie or came out on Netflix. I'm unsure on the details, but it kind of created this trend that then is this movement, and then it's just kind of a reflective of a healthy way of living, is getting rid of anything in your house that doesn't bring you joy.
Absolutely. There's a ton of different ways to go about that. One that I know and that I kind of live off of is if you haven't touched it in a year, get rid of it, right? If you haven't used it in a year, get rid of it. And that was actually given to me by my boss, and I have like a lot of his old sweaters and stuff like that, and I wear them,
So bridging it together, if you're really on the grind, instead of donating, you can sell.
Absolutely. There's also, which I wanted to bring up, is the minimalist lifestyle, right? There are a ton of videos, ton of resources out there online, ton of articles that talk about how the minimalist lifestyle makes you happier, it makes you more productive.
Yeah.
Your whole life is just a little bit cleaner, less cluttered, and that's kind of the whole basis of it, is that minimalist lifestyle. Well, if you want to go and live that minimalist lifestyle, well, you have a lot of stuff to sell.
Yeah.
And, just going through my house, like trying to sell a piano, which I have 4 of. I don't need 4 pianos.
Will's,
I'm trying to sell this go-kart, and really, like, board games. I have a ton of board games that I have not touched in years. A lot of them are from my childhood, like that's not something I need. It's not something I'm ever going to use again in my life. And yeah, if my 6-year-old neighbor wants them, great. I'm happy to give them to my 6-year-old neighbor. But other than that, sell it on eBay, sell it on OfferUp.
Yeah.
Post it on eBay, post it on OfferUp, post it on LetGo, post it on Facebook Marketplace, post it on Craigslist. Post it everywhere you can, and somebody out there is looking for it. Somebody out there somewhere is looking for that specific item, and you have it.
There's a lot of opportunities on the internet to make money on the grind from a lot of different ways.
Absolutely. And that, being on the internet behind a computer, it really, in this day and age, like a computer with the internet, anything, the opportunities are literally endless, which I think almost kind of ties us into dropshipping, right? Because I want to touch on that as well. I have not ever gone into a dropshipping venture before, and I know you have. But before we get there, for all of you that don't know what dropshipping is, you could probably explain this a little bit better than me. I know it as a triangle, right? You have the store, you have you, right, as the store, and you have the customer. The customer orders the product from you, you order the product from the store, and the store ships it directly to the customer. That is drop shipping. You never have your hands on the product. So theoretically, you can do it all from right behind a computer screen the whole time.
Yeah.
And then there are also, you can automate it with fulfillment services that make it so you sit back and relax while your product is being ordered through you directly to the manufacturer, sent to them, and the process goes around and around and around while you can just sit back and watch it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, no process can be completely automated.
Absolutely.
But it can at least maximize the amount of time you're spending other places.
Absolutely. And in that sense, if you're madly successful with one automated dropshipping store, well, now that you've automated it, you have time to go and build a second one.
Exactly. All you really need is one winning ad set And then that could buy you anywhere between 2 weeks of a month before that specific campaign goes dry, of you investing your time in other things while being supported by a developed cash flow.
Absolutely. And so I think dropshipping is probably the biggest learning curve on this list, rather than, garage sailing or selling house. Like, dropshipping is definitely a little bit of a learning curve because, again, you're going to have to learn how to use Shopify. You're going to have to learn how to talk with manufacturers and get in with the all of that jazz.
Understand testing products, branding, Shopify, web design.
And then Facebook ads, which you actually turned me on to Facebook Blueprint, which I actually never knew that was a thing that existed.
Yeah, Facebook Blueprint is Facebook's kind of what I would say user manual. It doesn't get a huge amount into best practices, but when it comes to the best way to learn the platform, don't do it like I did. I went in and played with it, and that's just, I'm a tinkerer. That's kind of how I learn, and spent $2,000+ just figuring it out. That's a way, but you definitely don't have to do it that way.
If you go in garage sale,
Facebook,
make that $2,000,
yeah,
and then go and figure out Facebook ads, well, then you have another thing under your belt that you can just leverage.
Definitely, but you don't even have to spend that money if you use Facebook Blueprint, because it can walk you through just like the best way to use things for each platform.
Okay, absolutely. That is just awesome. So again, that's kind of the biggest learning curve on this list, but it's still a really great option, if not one of the better options with the learning curve.
And I would say probably if you have never done anything in e-commerce, with all the resources that are available by just Googling and YouTubing, trying to figure
YouTube
out,
is the craziest platform on the face of the planet. Let me just say.
I would say you could probably learn everything you need to learn, and have a decent store up and running within 40 hours.
Yeah.
I would say.
Spend a week on it.
Or, 4 weekends.
There you go. It's just about that initial putting the time in, and then,
developing a skill that you can scale for the rest of your life.
Again, it's the whole no excuses. There's always the one that I like the most. This was a quote associated with it, was I don't have time to work out, right? Now, what if I put this is going to sound really violent. What if I put a gun to your kid's head and said,
horribly violent,
do you have time to work out? You would have all the time in the world to work out. You would find the time.
Yeah.
And of course that doesn't ever happen. It's not a real thing. But it's the realization that, like, oh, wow, I actually do have time to work out. I don't think I have time to work out. I have time to go and watch this show on Netflix, but I don't have time to work out, right? And it's the same thing, I don't have time to go and learn how to dropship. I don't have time to do
audiobooks,
this.
YouTube videos, and podcasts all can give you passive learning resources as well on your commute and other places. So you can actually make the most of your time in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. And if you're listening to this right now, you should totally listen to us in your car. Learn something. Boom!
Listen to us on Anchor.
In your car, on your boat, on a plane,
on Spotify,
on the moon, at your grandma's house, during Thanksgiving dinner,
in a bathtub,
in a hot tub, by the pool. Cooking dinner is also a really great option. I'm glad you pointed to that right there. That's good. What Rob actually pointed to was start a vlog, right? Now, this is kind of what I did back in, I guess, the first vlog video I ever made. I made tons and never posted any. I guess this kind of ties into building starting a personal brand to then eventually monetize things like that, right? First vlog I ever made, I got super inspired, and I made a vlog a long time ago on a day out skating, right? Nothing fancy, nothing special, but it's a start. It's actually way easier than you think to start a vlog.
Yeah, all you really need is your phone camera, and then I'm a big lover of document, don't create. That's a tag made by Gary Vaynerchuk, but it's really the best way to go about creating content when in the beginning you don't even know what niche you're in. Day to day, spend 30 seconds and film yourself just explaining what you did that day, right? When you document and not create, you take the friction out of the content creation process, and that's all you kind of need. From there, since the point of a vlog is for your personal brand is to create attention, having that authentic connection with your audience then allows your audience to grow. Never build a vlog or a podcast with the sole purpose of monetization, because your audience are going to see that and they're going to feel it, and then you're ultimately no better than a used car salesman.
And also, I mean, if you go about it like that, know that it is not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know, I've been at more or less on YouTube for emphasis on less on YouTube for the past 8 or 9 months, and I haven't made a penny. You know, and I don't expect to make a penny for the next couple of years. But it's that, you know, just the tips and tricks there are be consistent, keep putting out content. Gary Vee and his podcast, was it 18 months, right? Before was it once a week for 18 months, every Friday for 18 months? Do you know that statistic?
I forget. I don't know exactly what he did, but like he often says, like with Wine Library, his original show, no one paid attention to him for a year, which I think is just a good bar of when it comes to creating brand attention, energy around anything you do. You got to go for the moon. You got to be able to swing for that. Otherwise, you know, just aiming for good enough is just never going to get you there.
Yeah. And that's like, man, a vlog is definitely something. So here's a little recommendation that I would make, right? Just looking at this start a vlog. Well, of all the things on this list, why don't you start a vlog about garage sailing? Or start a vlog about dropshipping? Or start a vlog about selling of your house?
If you have time, do everything. And there's a lot of ways how you can use a different, you know, combinations of what we're listing out, whether it's a podcast or a vlog, and talk about the grind and what you're doing. Film yourself selling crap out of your house. Like, people will laugh at that. It's interesting. Show you depth of your personality, and create a community and a place for people to talk to each other and, like, you know, comment and see a part of you.
Absolutely. And you know, the other thing I would say is, having been a YouTuber and looking at it and being in front of a camera so often and teaching myself to be okay with it, is your biggest critic is yourself. Yeah. Your biggest limit is yourself. You guys will see it eventually, but I just painted a mural here in the studio of "You are your only limit," and it's giant on one wall. And it's a quote that I really believe in, you know? And that was the reason I picked up a camera 2 years ago and didn't put out a video until 8 months ago. You know?
Don't Xenon paradox yourself. Just take the leap and, like, jump into it. If you keep measuring these half steps of things you have to do before you're actually doing it, you'll never get there.
Absolutely. And it's the same thing with garage sailing. It's the same thing with selling your house. It's the same thing with dropshipping. It's sit down, watch YouTube videos, sit down, figure out where garage sales are in your local area, figure out a Saturday, you know. It goes right back to the no excuses. Pick up a camera, talk to it, document your day, pick up your phone, take a selfie. Everybody takes selfies.
Post it and say something thoughtful in the caption. That's all you need. Pick up the voice recorder app on your phone and record a podcast, whether it's just your thoughts on your day, or your thoughts on the State of the Union, or your thoughts on flower placement in front of small businesses. Whatever you want to talk about, you can, because the internet's created a platform to do it. And there's opportunities to talk about Smurfs and gardening
at the same time.
1 and 2, and create, after initial time investment, a way to even live off of that.
And that kind of goes into, I want you to explain how podcasts work.
Podcasts
right?
are so easy, everyone, if you're ever interested in making a podcast, I want you to download the Anchor app. It is amazing. All you have to do is upload audio content, and then they'll help you and even give you an initial sponsorship opportunity to get your feet in, and you can drag and drop to different segments of your podcast where you want sponsored ads. You can control your descriptions, and then they will distribute your podcast for you to the platforms. Now, from that point, it's on you then to market your podcast just like you'd market any other link online.
Yeah.
Which is a huge part of it. But there's ways to do that for free, right? None of these things that we're talking about are ultimately super pricey to get into. You could start garage sailing with $20. You could start drop shipping with $30, right? It's just whether or not you're ready to spend in the time to set yourself up for success.
Absolutely. And we're going to dive more into how to make a podcast and our whole studio setup and what we do in another video. But for this one, I mean, no more complaining, no more excuses.
It's got to do.
It's something that we all fall into. You know, I make excuses. I press snooze on my alarm when I get up in the morning. That's an excuse, you know? They're everywhere. You got to overcome it. You got to just sit down and do and go and make it happen.
And figure out what you love, because that'll make doing it a whole lot easier.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Rob.
I'm Will.
And you can listen to this on Anchor. See ya.